Hey there, and welcome to a special Slab City update. For one, I'm not filming it in my house. I am filming it in Coz's home for wayward girls. It's currently in its before stage. And I've actually been spending a fair amount of time in here because as the temperature goes up, this place is actually insulated. And the roof does block out pretty much most of the sun. There's a small little roof vent where some sun comes through. But the shade cloth in my house, or in my tent, does not block out 100% of the sun, so it does get warm in there. And the fact that there's not much air movement in there, it can be uncomfortable. So yeah, I've been spending some time in Coz's home for wayward women or wayward girls, which has kind of got me rethinking the design, the interior design, as far as all girly and things like that, because I think I'm going to be spending a fair amount of time in this place during the summer because it is cooler, and I plan on doing some earth tube style things to cool this place. So this may be my summer retreat where I go and chill. And yeah, I'm not exactly all that girly, so I don't know if that'll work, but I'm thinking more I will let it evolve how it evolves, like whatever lands in my lap for furnishings and things like that. I know I'm not going to leave it in the 4-bunk style because I wanted more usable space and things like that, and couples can't, well, a couple of skinny people can get on a twin bed, but not most humans, and especially not during the summertime when it's all kind of hot and sweaty and stuff like that. You might not want to be that close to people. The other reason why this is a special episode is because it's the Q&A episode. So I'm going to go through and read some questions that were asked, and then I'll answer them to the best of my ability. All right? So Drink Jockey asks, do you have any room for expanding and letting people stay a while to help learn with the Ecovillage? If so, how much money would one need? So yes, there is room for expansion for people to join the Ecovillage, short, long term, but it's really more dependent on how good of a fit you are for the people who are currently in the community. If you are constantly causing friction, then yeah, you will probably be asked to leave quite quickly. And in fact, when you do come here, I kind of suggest that maybe you don't stay directly in the Ecovillage area, and we get to know each other first before deciding, oh, do we want to live and hang out all the time? Because we may find out that we're not a good fit, and rather than having you too much invested into a spot and then having to ask you to leave, it's much more, oh, hey, we like you, come live with us. We feel that works out a little bit better. And that might happen real quickly, or it may take a bit. I, unfortunately, am kind of standoffish and a bit of a prick at times, and kind of a little bit maybe too judgy right away. Just a grumpy old man, I guess. And often later on, it's like, oh yeah, this person is actually cool, maybe, and so I'm starting to realize that doing these videos and stuff, more and more people come here and know who the fuck I am, and maybe even have a little bit of that starstruck behavior. Not saying that I'm all that or anything like that, but definitely I imagine that you've watched 20, 30 videos of mine. If you come to the point where you're actually coming to Slab City, you've probably seen that much. So you probably feel like you know me, and or whatever. And so you get to actually see me for the first time, and it's like, oh, is this really happening? And yeah, it is really happening, and big fucking deal. So relax a little bit. So maybe I think that's people's. I'm not getting really good first impressions from people because of the anxiety, from around the anxiety of meeting somebody that they see on YouTube. It's a new phenomenon for me to kind of get used to, as well as, like, people know who I am, but I have no clue who they are. So I'm going to try to be more open about when I meet people for the first time, and maybe give some things that are up front that maybe don't work real well for me. So, yeah. Anyways, hope that answered your question. Let's move on to the next question. Whoop, come on. From George Farnsworth. Dude, how you do pay for all that weed you smoke? You look nice and toasted. Thank you. So, I've said it once. I've said it twice. I've said it a bunch of times. I have a job. I actually do web development. And I currently have one client that actually I was expecting to be done with a long time ago. And I recently found out that I am going to be with them for a much longer period of time yet. And I work about 10 hours a month. And 10 hours a month, the $1 per hour I make isn't a horrible living out here. So, I mean, I'm not Donald Trump or anything like that. Yeah, I don't file bankruptcy. Dum-dum. Anyways, so yeah, that's how I pay for the weed I smoke, or for some of the weed I smoke. A lot of the weed I smoke is just fucking shared with me. Like, it's really a sharing mentality out here. You get to know people, you share your weed with them. Like, I share my weed with people. They come and hang out, and they share with me. And plus, because of the YouTube thing, there's a fair amount of people that just want to come and hang out and share weed with me. I've had several people bring weed and just drop it off and take off. So yeah, that's how I pay it, and that's one of the perks of, I guess, the YouTube thing. Anyways, hope that answers your question. Alex Tucker asks, good luck with the Bunkhouse, Coz. As a Q&A, can you run us through a typical day of the life of Coz, or maybe what your week looks like? Thanks. Sure, I can do that, Alex. First, I'll lay out a little bit what pretty much is my daily routine. And then I will kind of run through my weekly routine, when there is stuff and when there isn't. So, my daily routine, pretty much, I wake up before the sun's coming up over the mountains, but it's still light out, so you can see. I usually take my morning poop. Lately, I have been putting clothes on and going down to where the public restroom set up. I don't have the Hippie set up at the end of my hill anymore, and so yeah, put some clothes on, go down there, take my morning crap while the sun's coming up. When I'm done with that, get up to the house, start some boiling water to make coffee. If I don't do that, sometimes around 7 o'clock, I will just go to the internet cafe and get my morning coffee. Or at least the start on my morning coffee, kind of depending how I'm feeling. If I'm feeling social, or if I know there's people that I want to see down there and things like that. It depends on whether or not I go there. For a while, after going to the internet cafe, I would stop at Camp Goonies and hang out with those folk until usually, well, for me now, what I'm doing is making my morning coffee, and then I sit on my outdoor patio that faces west because it's fully shaded, drink my coffee, read some emails, do a little bit of interneting, been watching a fair amount of YouTube stuff lately. And then when the sun starts to hit my feet, it's time for me to get up and do a little bit of work around the house, or do a little bit of work, and that varies on what day it is, or the temperature, or what I got going on. So then there's a bunch of filler stuff, and then around sundown, I try to have my meal ready so that I can sit out on my patio that faces west, eat some food, watch the sunset go down over the mountains. If it's a nice visible day, I get to see the Salton Sea as well. This time of the year, the sun isn't setting over the Salton Sea. I also try to lately. I've been trying to snap if it's a nice view, and when it's hazy out, it's not so much of a nice view. But when it's a nice view, I try to snap a picture with my phone and post it on Instagram and link it to Facebook and stuff like that. And then after the sun goes down, this usually takes about an hour or so. I'll go into the house and maybe watch a movie, maybe do a little bit of putzing on the interwebs, and then I go to bed at a fairly reasonable time, depending on the night of the week. Anyways, so my weekly schedule kind of looks like, so on Sunday mornings, when I'm doing the internet thing out there, I am going through and looking at all the comments from last week and trying to reply to them or like them if I like them, as well as try to figure out what it is this week's episode's going to look like. Once I've got it figured out, I will go ahead and record that. That usually takes maybe a half hour to actually record it. And then I start to do some editing. And that actually can take a fair amount of time. And I hear my voice over and over because at each different step, I make sure I listen to it. And if any of the audio is out of sync, I try to sync it up and things of that nature. And make sure the transitions work. So by the time I've actually exported it and uploaded it, I've watched it at least a dozen times. And that can take, it can be anywhere as quick as an hour or can take up to 2-3 hours to get that done. Then I upload it. Lately, I've been uploading it on time where I can actually schedule it so that it comes out at 4:30 on Sunday. That's the time because it won't give me 4:20 on it, so I got to go 4:30. Won't even give me 4:15. Actually, how about this? I ask you guys a question. Would you rather have it at 4, so maybe you can watch it at 4:20 high, or 4:30 because it's closer to 4:20? Anyways, why don't you comment that down there? So that's, and I get that done, and then, got to cook something to eat. And now Tressa is taking over for Movie Matt and having movies on Sundays. And I'm going to try to get over there every Sunday to watch a movie and see some people that I don't see that much, yet I enjoy their company. Actually, tonight I'm thinking about making some stuff to make fish tacos and take it over there to Tressa. Because, I appreciate what she's doing. I know she misses Matt. We all miss Matt. And glad that she's carried on the tradition and has decided to kind of stick around with us weirdos. Anyways, so that's Sunday. Monday, I admit, I kind of go through and I read the activity that's been happening on my video, a little ego stroke once in a while, and once in a while, like, whatever. Not really much going on Mondays now that we don't do the meat in your mouth Mondays. But come winter time, our season, snowbird season, we'll be going back to the meat in your mouth Mondays, and I think I'm gonna try to cook every one of them. This way I know it's good food. Not that nobody didn't cook good food before, but when I cooked, everything was ready at one time and it could be served like a meal. I'm guessing people who wanted to contribute and wanted to cook last time can still do so. We'll just work together and we'll try to make sure that everything's fed on one time. So that'll be a lot more functioning next year. Let's see, Tuesday. What goes on Tuesday? Oh, every third Tuesday of the month, it's Ernie's. Got to go to Ernie's. He's the guy that has the orphanage in Mexico, comes up here to Slab City and brings canned food to give away, as well as his wife cooks a meal and gives it to us. And then there's a bunch of donations that are given to him that he has no use for, so he'll bring them up here and do the raffles. And pretty much all of the things that I got for inside my house, like couch, furniture, or couch, love seat, bed, came from Ernie's or Craigslist, free on Craigslist. So like I do try to go there and take advantage of that. And yeah, not too much there. On Wednesday, the third Wednesday every month, this month coming up, or this Wednesday coming up, is commodities, and I try to get into Niland at the Chamber of Commerce, and there the United States Department of Agriculture gives away a bunch of food. Often this is the only meat that I'll eat for the month, is stuff that I get from them or from Ernie's. Or lastly, every Wednesday, I try to get to the Foursquare Church in Calapat, where they do they've now bumped it up to a $5 box of food. And last week, what actually happened was, because they did bump it up to $5, a bunch of the people from the slabs didn't go. And like, I really tried to encourage people to go and just give the $2 that they can afford, because this I do know about the church. They're wonderful people, and they turn no one away. If all you have is $2 to give to them, they will take that. And that's part of the reason why they bumped it up to $5, is because they really do not turn anybody away, and the people who can pay $5 will help cover the people who can't pay $5, and will probably bring it up to about $3 each. So I'm going to go ahead and encourage all slabbers to go to the Calapat Church on Wednesday, because what happened is bunch of slabbers didn't go, so then they had a bunch of leftovers, and they took all those leftovers and drove them all the way over here, and really, that was a lot of extra time for those people, gas money, things like that. By all means, slabbers, carpool, go there, give what you can afford to give. If you can afford to give them $5, do so, because you know what? You get your money's worth. Like, there was 4 bags of the $1.50 size chips that they gave us, in addition to all that other stuff that would have cost $6. Like, so it's worth it. You know it is. So give what you can and go there, and don't make them drive all the way out here and take up their extra time. Anyways, so that's a Wednesday. Thursday will probably start looking a lot like at 8:30 I'll go down and I'll catch the bus, and I'll either go into the church at Calapat, or I will go into Brawley and do some running around and get in some air conditioning. Yeah, so that's Thursday, because it's the only day that does the round trip bus, and who knows, maybe I'll go all the way down to El Centro, catch a movie once in a while. So yeah, I'm probably going to start taking advantage of the bus, especially with the heat going on. I mean, picks you up at 8:30 in the morning, drops you off at 6:30 at night. That's pretty much the hottest time of the day. I could be in air conditioning one day a week. That might be my splurge. Anyways, Friday, I have been trying to do the community dinner when I have extra food. There's been some showing up for it, some not showing up for it. Really would like to get something a little bit more solid going, so I'm thinking about doing a Friday night magic here. Get a bunch of people together and maybe play tournaments, and as people get bumped out of the tournaments, we can start playing a group game. So thinking about doing that. And then Saturday, I definitely go hit the range, or go hit the Haven for the dinner there. And recently I was asking somebody if they went for that, and they're like, oh, no, I can get food for myself. It's not really, about taking advantage of that free resource. And I was like, I understand that. And to be honest with you, like, I can cook myself. I make decent meals. I don't need to go for the free resource as well. But honestly, it is kind of a social thing for me. A lot of times, that's the only time that I see people, these people from the slabs, is at that dinner. So like, I like to go and see what's new with them, and things like that. And so hopefully now they'll start going and meeting different people that they may not have met. And then Saturday night, probably 80% of the time, you can find me at the range. Uh, and then come home and go to bed. So that's kind of what my week looks like. Hopefully that answered your question. Anyways, that's been one hell of a long for our Slab City update. I'm going to have to edit some of this shit out. Peace, love, and all that hippie jazz.
Send Coz some money on PayPal so he can buy himself something to eat. Then he won't have to sell his body to Albanian men on the street. Where broke hippies living out in the desert, no money and no shoes. And he may smoke the marijuana, but at least he won't spend it on booze. If you enjoy Coz's videos with their off-the-grid DIY